Chat TV episode about upcoming films that we're all excited about. So, Rob, you started last time. Alex, how about you get the ball rolling?
Okay, well, films this year, I've got to be honest, I haven't been to cinema so far this year, so I can't really say what I've seen, but films coming out, obviously it's normally the summer blockbusters, things like that, but I think the first film I'm looking forward to is probably going to be Avengers, if I'm honest. That's coming out in April, and then obviously there's a lot of action films and sort of dramas, whatever, coming out through the year, but Avengers is probably my biggest film of the year to look forward to. And then obviously stuff like James Bond and things. And
so you're more looking forward to Avengers than new Star Wars?
If I'm honest, yes, because I'm still reluctant to think Star Wars is going to be as good as it was when the first, 4, 5 and 6 came out, personally. I still think they ruined the first, second and third so badly for me, and I just don't know, I can't see it being as big, I really can't.
New owner now, though.
I know, well, yeah, yeah.
It's Disney now, so...
It is Disney, it's going to be good.
Mickey Mouse is going to pop up in the... Han Solo's going to be like...
Yeah.
Chewie's going to bite his head off.
Yeah, I do agree. It's obviously better than it was last time, but still, you know, everyone was so much raving about it when it came out. The first week came out again, and but no, I'm just a bit reluctant to think it's going to be as good as remember it. You know, it's a childhood, wasn't it? You know.
The way I'm thinking is Disney did one hell of a job with Avengers.
Yeah.
Personally, and I think
was that Disney then, or was it still them involved, or did they get involved after?
I thought it was Disney.
I know it's Marvel, but I thought Disney's bought. I might be wrong. I thought Disney's bought after that was, or Disney bought Marvel after that was made, the first Avengers.
Well, that was a clanger there.
I might be wrong. I might be very wrong. I just thought it was.
One of you's wrong.
Yeah, we'll find out after this.
Well, Avengers 2 looks good, and that's my Disney, so that's my safety net there.
Winter Soldier 2 was good, so that's
true.
That was Disney, yeah.
So, but the thing is, either way, you've got the audience that they're aiming at. Obviously, the latest 3 Star Wars, they aimed it at a younger audience.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Disney are now thinking that audience we aimed it for are going to be that little bit older, and we've got the original audience from the original 3. That's collectively, that's a bigger audience than brand new kids again.
Yeah.
So hopefully, what they're going to say is, let's make it a little bit more adult. And, you know, from the trailers, obviously it's potentially could be.
That's what we want. I mean, the danger is going to be that they really try and make it this all-encompassing family film that just, you know, it's going to turn into The Hobbit or something. Which,
well, like Jar Jar Binks is going to tap up again, something like that.
I'm sure they've learnt their lesson there, but, you know, another Jar Jar character could certainly turn up, but who knows?
I think the saving grace is they have got, obviously, what made the original Star Wars so good in this one, like for example the Millennium Falcon, everyone saw that, and the TIE Fighter or whatever, they would, you know, this is amazing, it's going to be great, and that's one thing they have got in their defence, because I don't remember any starship or any sort of, you know, thing from the first 3 that I remember, you know, any of the ships are rubbish.
How much of the original cast do you think will be in this? Will it be a kind of, it's all about them, or will it be a handing the torch over?
I do think it'll be handing the torch. I think a couple of the characters will either spin off or die in the first film, and then it will go on to the other characters taking over, I think. I don't think... I mean, Harrison Ford, was in his 70s or something? Something stupid like that.
Well, he did say, and this was a long time ago, he did say if he ever did return as Han Solo, he wanted him to die.
Yeah.
It's, you know, whether or not that happens, I don't know, but...
I don't think he's got the power to make that decision.
Well, probably not. But would he have accepted it if he didn't?
He probably said, I'm signing on for this film, but I want to make sure that the first one I'm out. Yeah, it could be. And I wouldn't blame him, because he could obviously, you know, he's made some money, he moves on, and he's ended the whole thing. He's done his bit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Avengers is what I've been looking forward to this year. I think that's, and then obviously other films like James Bond. That's probably my second, because I really enjoyed Skyfall. That was one of my films.
I'm not a Bond fan, and I really enjoyed Skyfall.
Yeah, it's a good fit. It was a good story, I thought. Really good story.
I think that's what I want. And they killed off an important character.
What? Geek? Yeah.
Well, that kind of rebooted the series, didn't it? Because I don't know if you've ever, because the original James Bond, that was reintroduced at the end of Skyfall.
Yeah.
Because he walked in, you know, he met Moneypenny for the first time, and M, the new M, which was the male character.
Yeah.
You know, that was all at the beginning. So they've kind of rebooted the whole series doing that, which I've found pretty impressive the way they did that. I quite enjoyed that.
So usually my beef with James Bond is that it's always the same. You know, like, oh, you know, he'll save her, she's the girl, and you know, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Obviously, got
now-
beef with James Bond. I really hate James Bond. Because you and him having a fight together is quite good.
Up until Skyfall, I just thought it was really safe filmmaking. You know?
Did you think that Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace I didn't think was any good, but Casino Royale, did you enjoy that or not?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It didn't blow me away.
No.
I want to watch a film and not know how it's going to end.
Yeah. And you thought Casino Royale, you knew how it was going to happen. You knew.
From watching every other James Bond, you've got a pretty good
Yeah,
idea who's
yeah,
going to save the world.
Because it wasn't the same sort of thing as James Bond. You didn't have a bit where he's got all these new toys and stuff. He just automatically had a car in Casino Royale and stuff. But normally James Bond was there's always an intro which obviously you're like, wow, blown away, like, you know, skiing down a mountaintop with a Union Jack flag or whatever above your head with a parachute. But yeah, it was different Casino Royale. I didn't like Quantum of Solace, so I was a bit dubious about Skyfall. But yeah, I think the next one, what's it called again? It was I keep forgetting it's
Tip of my tongue.
it's like it's not Sphere or something. I forgot what it's called now. It's I can't remember.
Spectre.
Spectre. That's it. Yeah, Spectre. That's the new name of the film, and I think that'll be good. I think that'll be
It's got Christopher
Walken in it. Yeah.
Waltz.
Waltz. He's the bad guy, isn't he? Or we don't know.
Yeah,
yet.
well, we don't know now.
Mm.
There's a rumour that he's going to be Blofeld, but
Really? So that'd be quite a good character for him to play, I think. There's no one else really. We've also got there's a couple of obviously Bond girls. Isn't it Bellucci in it? Monica Bellucci, isn't she one of the Bond girls in it? This one for Matrix Girl.
yeah.
Yeah, she's in it. She's
French one.
she's in it. But they're the ones.
Dave Bautista.
David Bautista. Well, he was good in Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought he was a good character. He played Drax really well. But that's my films anyway. There's ones I'm looking forward to. What about you?
Well, I was
Kev?
gonna, just going back to a point you made, Rob, about you didn't like James Bond because they were like generally safe films. Can you see superhero films taking the same route?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not a big superhero film fan
Right.
because of that reason. Like, you watch Spider-Man, and there's never a moment in your mind when you're watching it when he's like falling off a building or something where you're thinking, oh, he's going to die. It just doesn't even register. So for me, I mean, I like a lot of random indie films because I don't want to be able to guess how it'll end. I like the surprise element when I watch a film.
So you prefer the films that obviously you have no history about it, you don't know what it's about, you just go in there and you hear
I mean,
a story.
I like the recent, Christopher Nolan's Batman films, and probably slightly less safe than your normal superhero films.
Yeah.
We won't talk about how he ended the last one because I hated that. But,
Yeah.
why did he have to show him still alive? Just let him die. Kill him off.
Well, like I said, they've got obviously they made it where they could still be another Batman, can't they? You know, another as Robin be the Batman or taken over, but
Oh, Robin, don't get me started.
at least it wasn't as bad as Batman and Robin. They could have ended
Yeah.
there, couldn't they?
Yeah.
That would have been a horrible thing to end it in those sort of films.
No, The Dark Knight's a masterful piece of filmmaking.
Yeah, that's my favourite of the three. I think it's
But,
close to Batman Begins. I think.
If you want me to watch Captain America and Thor and all those sort of films, I can't be doing that. Iron Man, no.
You didn't enjoy any Iron Mans at all?
I watched a bit of the first one.
Yeah.
Got a bit bored.
So it's
just doing it
a
themselves.
different film though, isn't it? It's a different film to Batman, isn't it? Batman's obviously quite a dark character, and obviously, like I said, you could, lots of, he could have died in it. There's lots of bits of that, but obviously, Iron Man, it's one of those comic book films, isn't it? But X-Men's the same. I mean, did you ever watch First Class, or did you enjoy that or not?
Have I seen First Class? I saw the one before that, I think. First Class is the one where they're younger, isn't it?
Yeah,
Seen that.
yeah.
But I haven't seen the most recent one.
Days of Future Past.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So that was good, but again, it was like you said, it's pretty much a paint by numbers film for those sort of things. You know what's going to because the thing is, they're all comics. All these films are made from the comic stories. So I mean, Marvel have planned the next 6 years going forward because they've had these comic books to go by, and they're going to adapt all the stories.
The thing is, in the comic books, they kill characters off quite regularly.
Yeah.
But they'd always come round with, that was in this dimension, but in this dimension, he's actually alive.
Yeah.
And I can't see him doing that.
You can't do it in a film, can you?
No, because I think the idea of that is a little bit too mind blowing for the general population, I'd say.
Have you both seen Dark Knight Returns animated?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
That is a ballsy film.
Yeah.
I just can't see them doing that in real life. Like where he breaks the Joker's neck and all that sort of stuff, and he fights Superman at the end. And
Yeah. But although they are doing that sort of adaptation for the new Batman versus Superman, aren't they? That story will happen. That bit at the end will happen. I think something similar, like where Batman and Superman fight. But we don't know obviously what that story's going to be about. We know what it was about in that film, or that animated film anyway. But
I don't want to see it.
we'll see. I might say, but I think obviously, like I said, they do pay by numbers of comic films because they have to. They want to make sure the comic people watch it. It's not as much as the general population.
And the thing is, that's where they went wrong initially with a lot of these films, because they brought comic book characters to the big screen and didn't follow the comics. So they didn't have the comic book following, and you know, they had a few people that didn't follow the comics that enjoyed it. But you know, on that other side of the coin, original Superman with Christopher Reeve didn't really follow the comics, but everyone loved it. But I think, I don't know, if we're going back to, we're going off topic again, but if we're going back to films we want to watch this year, I know we've already discussed it, but for me, it's got to be Star Wars.
Yeah, that's your big film.
It's got to be Star Wars, yeah. I just hope that they don't mess it up.
A new hope.
it's an old hope. That's what they should have called it. Old hope.
Do you know what they called the first one? Do we know what the first one's called?
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's you're right. Yeah, okay.
Some of the imagery we've seen from it does look cool. I like the lightsaber with the I don't know what you call it, like a broadsword.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have said that's not. They don't like it, and I
love it.
Like I said, it's a different twist, isn't it? Remember the first time we first saw the lightsaber, the two, you know, when the two poles in each end. I thought, Darth Maul had that, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. But you know what's going to like until they start using it and stuff.
The problem I have with this lightsaber,
Oh, you're one of them people.
I am one of these people, yeah. And I just think they've thought about, right, okay, we've got a normal lightsaber. Well, what did we do? We've got a little bent one with a handle. We've done a two-ended one. What else can we do? Oh, let's have one with two bits sticking out the side.
But I like that because it's quite natural, because it's based on a real sword. Yeah.
There's no protection for you not to. You can't do any of that stuff that we're doing in the old one. Maybe it's not going to be like that. Maybe it's going to be old-fashioned.
Maybe he will chop his hand off.
It should be more like that.
Yeah.
Maybe he will chop his own hand off with it.
Maybe.
Oh.
They've got his back like a T-1000 sort of hand. These Force people.
I didn't like in the prequels all the sort of ninja flipping about and stuff.
They could go a bit old school, couldn't they?
Yeah, and then you watch the originals after that, and they're just like standing stiff as things. So I'm hoping this one will be somewhere between the two.
See, like a lumberjack sword.
Yeah.
I don't know. Until I start seeing and start properly using it, we don't know what it's going to be like with those sort of things sticking out. Good work and good not work. You don't know. But we'll see. But they haven't really done much for Star Wars. I'm surprised they haven't bought anything for the Super Bowl trailer. I would have thought they brought another sort of glimpse of what's coming out, wouldn't they? But they haven't done anything since that trailer came out last year. But that's the big one then for you, Star Wars, or
for me, yeah. I hate to go down the superhero route again, but Avengers is obviously up there. I think Batman vs Superman is next year. So yeah. One, a film that I really can't get my head around is Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's an awful name.
I know obviously the comics must have done quite well because they brought it into a film, and I know they do make reference to it in the trailer of the film, like Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Can we change the name? It just, I don't know, it seems like they're scraping the barrel to me.
Well, the thing that worries me about Ant-Man is that Edgar Wright, who I respect a lot as a filmmaker, pulled out of it.
Yeah.
Like, what was going wrong for him to say, I can't be a part of it, I'm not going to put my name to this film, kind of thing?
I do. I think probably they don't have all the control they want to pull out, and probably he's one of those people who wanted the full control, and Marvel wanted a bit, no, this is what you're going to do, and he probably said, oh no, I'm not doing that, so he's pulled out. I think he is one of those people who wants full control of what he does, which is fair enough. I mean, some directors do that, but the thing about Ant-Man is obviously, like you said, it's one of those films like I've never read Ant-Man. I don't know anything about it, and so until it started coming out, and then I started doing a bit of background on where it's come from. A lot of people are a bit annoyed about the fact it's a different version of Ant-Man than what the comic is, because there's quite different versions of who Ant-Man could be. There's Hank Pym, obviously a lot of people want him to be the Ant-Man, but he's not. He's a grown up. He's the Michael Douglas character, and then obviously the other guy's taken over, and they're going to make it a comedy. That's what they reckon. They reckon it's going to be more of a comedy than action.
For someone that doesn't know much about Ant-Man.
Yeah.
What's the actual power? Does he shrink to the size of an ant?
No, he can shrink, but also, I believe in the comic book things, he can actually go quite big as well. He can grow to a massive sized man. So
it's just a sort of scaling.
Well, at the beginning, I guess this film is going to him shrinking and getting bigger. But in the comics and the Avengers things I've watched, he can actually become a massive character, like 20 stories high or thing.
So, what does the Superman actually do for him? Apart from maybe he can get through like a keyhole if he needs to get into
Well,
an ant.
that's it.
Why would you want to be an ant?
Well, it's because you're supposed to have the strength, aren't you? Of suppose the ants have the strength of 20 people or whatever, to who you are. So it's just a lot of strength, but be small.
So he's tiny, but he's stronger than.
Yeah, he's much stronger than a normal person. Yeah,
so probably some sort of career in pest control.
Well, but then you wouldn't be called Ant-Man, would you? Because I'm Ant-Man, but I want to get rid of ants. So, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really that interested in myself. But then I wasn't interested in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Things I wasn't interested in. I've never really known that much about Iron Man before that came out, and that was one of my favourite films of all time. I think it's a fantastic film. But and I think actually on that subject, I think Spider-Man has always been Marvel's poster boy.
Yeah.
But now it's Iron Man, and that just shows what a good job they made of those films.
It's the writing though. Obviously, they had good direction with the people they used.
Yeah.
When Jon Favreau did Iron Man and Iron Man 2, Iron Man 2 didn't do well at all, but Iron Man 1 did really well, and that obviously put comic book films back on the map again, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think Superman, did anyone enjoy Superman last year or the year before, wasn't it? Yeah.
I didn't dislike it.
Yeah.
But I think it's more the character of Superman, because there's not much you can do because he's so sort of wholesome and it's just Superman.
A bit blah, isn't it? It's nothing really to it. Batman's different because it's so dark. You've got something you can.
And Batman's vulnerable, whereas Superman, you're like, well, he's never gonna.
Yeah, he can't die. He basically can't die.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so obviously, like to go on Ant-Man. What about you, Rob? What films are you looking forward to this year? Because obviously, it's going to be different for us.
Okay, well, as a youngster, I was a big Jurassic Park fan.
Okay.
Am I looking forward to this new one? I've got a kind of love-hate kind of, do I want to see it, do I not kind of thing, because it kind of looks awful.
Yeah. What makes it look awful to you? What are you not looking for?
I don't like the ideas behind it in the actual film, because you can see they've genetically engineered a new dinosaur.
Yeah.
Which for me is a bit like, surely stick to the
code.
I mean, they're quite scary as it is.
Yeah.
It's things like that would worry me, but at the same time, I still want to see this. You Jurassic Park people?
I enjoyed it. That was one of the films I think I remember seeing in cinema when I was really young. One of the first ones I saw, I think.
And the second one and the third one get progressively worse. So I'm hoping this could bring it back a bit and save it.
Well, they've got Chris Pratt, obviously, he's done really well in the last couple of years in superhero films. But I just don't know. I just think I don't know. I'm not impressed as much as I was when I was younger. I think Jurassic Park was very new then, and it was great. But I don't know if I'd watch it at cinema, but I'm not really that.
The thing is about the original Jurassic Park that I love is that it's sort of about the animals rather than treating them as monsters.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that's where they're going wrong with this new one. It's turning into a monster movie rather than.
Okay. So you think the first one?
The first one had real respect for the.
But you didn't see so many, did you? You only saw like a T-Rex, really, and you saw raptors, but you didn't see.
Raptors were terrible.
They were scary, and they were the thing that scared more than T-Rex. I think when I was younger watching those films, but I think you're right. I think the fact they've genetically changed a dinosaur is not a good idea. I don't think they should need to do that personally. But then I don't know. Maybe that's the only way you can go back to this island to see a new dinosaur. They've done it so many times.
I think that's another thing that they're kind of picking up on in the films, that people are bored of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
They've been there, they've seen that now, so that's why they're trying to
change it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that the film is some sort of film for you, or?
Definitely more than like Avengers.
Yeah.
But I'm a Star Wars person,
so you wouldn't be looking forward to Bond at all, then obviously you won't really a Bond fan.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And I'll go in open-minded after watching Skyfall, definitely.
Yeah. Fair enough.
How many Bonds do you think Daniel Craig's got left in him? Do you think he's going to stay there for a while?
What's he now? He's probably coming to his late 40s, 50s now, isn't he? So I reckon he's got a couple more. Saying that Roger Moore did till he's 64, 65, something stupid like that. So you could go on, but I don't think they would. I think they will be, after probably one more, two more, they probably will give him a new James Bond if they're going to keep on going.
Do you consider James Bond as the code name for whoever is 007 at the time, or do you think it's always the same guy who just doesn't kind of age? It's just kind of universal kind of. Did you get what I'm saying by that?
Yeah, I do. I think it's supposed to be the same guy.
Mm.
If I'm being honest, because I think certainly in the books, I think it's all written as it's the same guy.
But then in the books are all probably set in the same time period.
That
It's
is
not like 50 years
true. Yeah.
apart.
Well, the daughter's writing now, isn't it? The daughter's writing what was Albert was doing years ago.
Okay.
So if she's writing or whatever, then I think she's probably following his sort of his pattern of what he does and how he did it. I think James Bond is still very similar to what it was years ago. But it has changed. It's not smarmy. Obviously, Roger Moore made the character really quite smarmy. I did like Roger Moore. When I was growing up, I thought he was a great James Bond.
The Roger Moore one's a good Sunday afternoon telly.
Yeah.
You know, they're good fun.
Yeah, just turn your brain off and just watch a sort of...
But they're not a Friday night blockbuster film.
They tend more of
whether they were at the time, I don't know.
They tend more of a thriller, don't you think, now? Well, Skyfall is much more of a thriller sort of thing than the other ones are. They're not fun anymore. They're not as fun as, like, even Pierce Brosnan was quite funny in some of his films, but it's not that anymore, is it at all, I don't think. Daniel Craig's not that sort of character.
No.
No.
Who do you think would be next up then?
That'd be really hard to choose now, because they're always trying to bring young actors who you don't even hear of, like maybe in TV series. Like, I couldn't even think about an English actor.
Yeah, before Daniel Craig, you'd have never said Daniel Craig. Would you?
No. When I first heard it, I was like, this is crazy. He's blonde as well. I was like, why is James Bond always had black hair in my mind, like Roger Moore and Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, but yeah.
I suppose now you could say all the obvious people, Fassbender and Cumberbatch and...
James McAvoy, like that, I guess they'll...
But I suppose you want someone a bit sort of unheard of, don't you? I don't know.
I don't think Fassbender would be a good Bond. I don't know. He's a good actor, don't get me wrong. I don't think he'd be a good Bond. He's too... I don't know. Now I guess I want a James Bond who's quite... Because Daniel Craig's quite a big guy, isn't he? He's not small and he's quite a smart guy, so I don't think Fassbender would play that role well. I think what I would like is I like someone like Fassbender or even Cumberbatch being a bad guy. I really would like to see them as a bad guy villain in James Bond. I think they play it really well because they do play good bad guys. I think they'd be really good. So they'd be good to see them.